Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the daily live stream at 3 p.m. My name is Warren Williams, and hopefully if you've been watching these for a while, you've gotten probably used to my face or tired of it. I don't know. It's all good. Either way, I still love you. So today, actually on today's episode, I have with me Arienne Ford. And if you watched our Sunday service last week, we had a video on, or our focus of the week was forgive us of our debt, right? Forgive us of our trespasses, that we used to say it back in the day in my church. And there was this beautiful poem that just set the whole service off on what was just ultimately a great service. And I actually have the privilege today of having with me the poet who penned that beautiful piece, Arienne Ford. So firstly, I would just like to thank you for doing this, and thank you for being on here on what was kind of short notice. We really appreciate you being here and joining us today. And today we're gonna be talking about art and poetry and just learning more about who Arienne is. And it should be really good. So I've been really excited for this. And I hope you guys are loving this too. So first of all, Arienne, would you mind just introducing yourself and letting us know a little bit about you, and also what do you do for work?
Absolutely. So thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. My name is Arienne. I'm not an Arizona native. I've been here going on 7 years, I think, with my husband of almost 10 years. We've got 3 kids. 10-year-old, almost 7-year-old, and then my almost 1-year-old.
Hey.
Let's see about me. I'm a military brat, so I've lived everywhere. This is actually one of the longest times I've stayed put. We lived in Arizona for a little bit when I was a kid, and we moved back to the East Coast for a while, and my parents really loved Arizona, so they wanted to get back. By the time my dad got stationed to Arizona, I had started college in Pennsylvania and made my friends and decided I want to stay out there. And I was pretty sure I was going to stay out there, but I had my first child, and that changed things. I started to really, really miss my family. And even though I didn't particularly like the state of Arizona at the time, I wanted to be back with my family. So looking back, I know that was God, because my husband had a job already, and it just happened to have an opening out here. And that was that. We ended up moving out to Arizona. Let's see what else. I'm a member of the Redemption Alhambra congregation. I've been there for about 5 years under Arienne and Wayne. I help lead the search tables there. I'm also part of a ministry called the Fountain of Hope. We work with women who have been sex trafficked or in sex work. And for work, I am a mental health therapist. Right now I work with the seriously mentally ill population and those who are homeless or at risk for homelessness.
Oh, so good, so good. And I'm so grateful for all the work that you're doing and the ways that you're contributing with your art. And so you mentioned that you're a mental health therapist, and I'm pretty familiar with that world because my wife, Jordan, is also a mental health therapist, and she specializes in more like teens. But I have definitely come to value the work of mental health therapists by being so close to it. So I was wondering, in what ways has your work in maybe mental health, in that field, how has that shaped the way that you approach your art?
Okay, that's a good question. I think in this field you see, and not just this field, but definitely in this field, I see a lot of brokenness. I get to see up close and personal what brokenness looks like that's been unchecked. So patterns of brokenness that were never dealt with in every aspect of your life. And usually the people I'm working with are at a point where normal coping skills or not coping with things isn't working anymore. And in this profession, the role that I have is to be in it with you, but more of a hope and more of a light. So I don't necessarily get down and dirty with you, but I let you know that there's hope. And I think that comes out a lot in my writing. I find that writing has been really helpful for me to express myself because I don't do that in session with my clients. Session is about them.
Right.
So seeing all of that, I need some form of release, some form of, God, how can you redeem this? Where are you in this? And that comes out a lot in my writing, I think. I think a lot of my writing tends to lean toward lament. So there's I see this, it's terrible, but God, yet will I trust you.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And like, I can definitely, when you said that you need some sort of release, it does remind me of my wife, because she's like in the, the same way, like she's also does poetry and music stuff. And it's just like, the therapist needs some way to like be therapized and to be to be able to, let off all the weight of the things they're dealing with on a daily basis. So that's really, really cool to hear. So we heard this debt poem that you did, which again was so wonderfully put together and just captured like just the weight and emotion behind like forgiveness. What are some of the thoughts and like things that you were thinking through as you put that together?
Oh man. So first you need to understand that this was almost an assignment. So we're going through the series on the Lord's Prayer, sure. And our pastors had a few of us write pieces on it. I go to church with a lot of very talented people, and I got included in that. Like, would you write a piece on this? And there were several times that I was just like, I wanted somebody to trade with me. Like, can I do the daily bread piece, or the hallowed be thy name part? Because forgiveness and I very much did not want this poem. Hurt. This poem was one that I wanted to distance myself from. A lot of my work, I tend to, I write a lot, but I write for myself. So I write when I feel like it. I write what I feel like. I'll walk away from it for a while and come back to it, or maybe I won't come back to it. And with this one, there was like, nope, you've got a deadline. You've got to get this done. And I couldn't distance myself from it, which I did. I did try. I tried to write it from like a step-by-step process. This is how you forgive, or teaching it in some way. And it just wouldn't flow. It didn't fit. I kept looking at it like, ugh. And that's when I realized, like, okay, God has some work he needs to do in me so I can write this. And I'm going to need to write this from the pews versus the pulpit. Like, I'm not going to be able to preach this. Like, I'm going to need to be very relational with this and transparent, and tell my story and my struggle with forgiveness. So yeah, those were some of the things going on. Like I said, I had to keep coming back to it, and it was painful. And I would think I had a part and put it down and come back and be like, no, that's not honest. You're not being honest with this. So
what did that time span look like? Like, how long did it take you actually to probably get that?
Yeah. So
right. Yeah.
When did we start this series? I got asked before we started the series. So it was a good, it was a lot of weeks.
Yeah.
Several weeks.
Well, I can say that if your goal was to be like real and honest and relational, that you definitely accomplished that. So, yeah, definitely great work on that. And I was thinking about something you said earlier, because I'm an artist too. And I was like, it is so much easier always to write from the places of like lament and hardship. And sometimes I get in the moment, I'm like, I want to write happy songs. It's like, those are just, you just don't feel that as much. Like, I don't know. It doesn't communicate as easy. I don't know what it is, but I definitely related to that. And it's something I've thought about a lot, because I'm like, I want to express the full Christian experience. Like, I want to express joy and happiness, but definitely those places of sorrow are easier to write from for whatever reason. That's like, every artist will probably say that, right? Like, any sort of music. So, but cool. Like, during this time, many of us, we're restricted. We're not able to go inside. We're dealing with a lot of anxiety, emotions, just a lot of stress to our mental health. In what ways can art be helpful during this time to help us like deal and work on with some of those emotions?
Yeah, that's good. I encourage everyone, my clients, my friends, my family, my husband, who doesn't consider himself artistic, to express themselves in a creative way. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's like scientific reasons.
Yep.
But I think the reason that's most pertinent to us is that God himself was a creator.
Amen.
And as his image bearers, we reflect that aspect of God when we create. I think the ability to express ourselves in art is a gift that we should absolutely use. And not everyone is going to be, polished and perfect at it.
Right.
But I don't think you should start from a place of like, I want to be the best at this. Just start from a place of like expression, just express. And right now with everything going on, I think that expression as an outlet is a really good, safe, healthy, beneficial way.
Yeah.
And start small. If you feel like you don't have anything to say, write the date. Just write the date down. Start small. And I guarantee you're probably going to want to keep going, but just start small. If you don't feel like you can draw something, color something.
Yeah.
If you are not a great photographer, your pictures come out blurry and crazy looking, then look at others' pictures. There are tons of social media accounts, or go on National Geographic and just look at some of those works of art. Look at some of the works of art from the greats, or listen to music that resonates, that makes you feel something. Do something that's going to evoke something so you can get it out. I think that would be my thing. That's the thing I keep telling, just get it out in whatever way. Don't aim for the best. You might end up being the best.
Right.
Don't aim for that at first. Just express, I like Job when I'm feeling like stuck and I don't know I need some metaphors or good analogies or something. I think Job 38, 40, 42, it's just such beautifully done metaphors, and it's the way it's gorgeous. And for me, that helps me to get out of whatever my state of anxiety or frustration or whatever is going on. It gets me outside of myself. So find that thing for you, and then carry on that motion, that expression of feeling, and put it on paper or on your computer, whatever that looks like. Do a recipe, cook something.
That's so good. So if there's any encouragement from Arienne and I, it's like, you can do something. All right. Like, you have been gifted in some unique way. And, like she said, I think, which was so well said, is that you don't have to be perfect on day one, right? That's like an unreal expectation. Right. And I know how like social media and things can possibly you can look to others and compare yourself, but it's just like, in this season, I've taken up journaling. Right. And I never was much of like a journalist. Like, I never really wrote down my feelings. But doing that has been so helpful in like allowing me to process the things that I'm thinking through. And like, it even unveils like things that I didn't even know I was thinking. Right. As you write, you're just like, things are coming. You're like, wow, I didn't even know I was feeling that. But like, to be able to write it down and get it off my chest, like, I feel so much more at ease. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of wisdom for that, and I'm really grateful for you sharing that. And also, like you said, Scripture models this well, right? Like, we see it in Job, the Psalms, right? Like, you see David just writing out all sorts of emotions, and that's so we see, so we see that, we see it modeled well in Scripture. And so I encourage you to start, if you want to, you want to write, you want to do something, explore something during this time. And also, I think it helps to give you an embodied experience, right? Because so much of our life right now is like technology and just Zoom calls, and we're probably all mentally fatigued from these. But so if you can like put pen to paper, right? Like, I feel like that's just, even doing that can give you like a different sort of make you feel like a human in certain ways, right? Because this is like, these calls and all that's like so disembodied, but like giving you an embodied experience of writing down, going outside, taking pictures, like being present within like the physical world. I think is extremely important during this time. So that's really good. So lastly, Arienne, how can we be praying for you? How can we be praying for your work, your ministry, your art? What are some ways that we can be praying for you?
Yeah, that's a really cool question. Thank you for asking. I guess just praying for my family, my community, my church community,
Sure.
where we live right now. There's a lot to pray for. I would ask for prayer that I continue to see God in art, in my interactions with clients, in my interactions with whoever at the grocery store. I want that continued experience. I don't want it to get, you look around and like, God, where are you in this moment? I want to continue, like, I know that you're here.
That's so good. That's so good. So, guys, if you're out there, I would ask, join me in praying with Arienne. And Arienne, I want to just thank you for coming on today and sharing just a bit of your wisdom. Hopefully we see some more, or we hear some more poetry from you in the future. We would love to, we would love to hear that. So thank you again for coming on. And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.